It's the 10th of December 1948, and the UN General Assembly adopts the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It states that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Yet fast forward to 2011, and the UN Human Rights Council expresses grave concern at acts of violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. All over the world, lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender, or LGBT people, are still being subjected to discrimination and acts of brutal violence, torture, kidnapping, even murder. In 76 countries, same-sex relationships are criminalized in violation of basic rights. These abuses must end. The tide is turning. Since 1990, almost 40 countries have legalized same-sex relationships. Many more have lawfully banned discrimination against LGBT people. More and more countries now recognize the urgency and are pressing for action at the UN. In the past 4 years, this has led to the first adopted UN resolution on the issue, the first official UN report, and the first formal intergovernmental debate at the UN Human Rights Council. On the 26th of July 2013, the UN launched Free and Equal, a global campaign designed to raise awareness of homophobic and transphobic violence and discrimination, and to help stop millions of LGBT people being abused for being who they are. We must protect the basic human rights of LGBT people. But it doesn't just require changes in laws and policies. It takes changes in people's hearts and minds. Like the struggle against racism, like the struggle for gender equality, the struggle for LGBT equality will only be won if we join together, if we speak out, if we stand in the defense of the rights of others. The time to do this is now. Together we can stop violence and discrimination against LGBT people. Together we can build a world that is free and equal.
अरे यार आज हमारे भैया आ रहे हैं अपने उनको लेकर। हाँ सबके कदम पर रम पम पम, कभी ऐसे गीत गाया करो, कभी खुशी कभी गम पर रम पम पम, हंसो और हंसाया करो। सबके कदम पर रम पम पम, कभी ऐसे गीत गाया करो, कभी खुशी कभी गम पर रम पम पम, हंसो और हंसाया। शबनम तुम हो सनम शोला बन जाया करो, कभी खुशी कभी गम तारा रम पम पम, हंसो और हंसाया करो। रंग नया है, रूप नया है, जीने का तो देखो यहाँ ढंग नया है। इसे है फिकर, इन्हें क्या पसंद, प्यार के जहाँ मिले ज़मान हम तुम हम बन गए हैं सनम, बेधड़क मेरे घर आया करो, कभी खुशी कभी गम तारा रम पम पम, हंसो और हंसाया करो। उठ सबके कदम पर रम पम पम, कभी ऐसे गीत गाया करो, कभी खुशी कभी गम तारा रम पम पम, हंसो और हंसाया करो। Let it smile, you'll be gone.
You know, when I was asked to come and talk about the topic of homophobia, I thought about it and I thought, okay, once people have found themselves, once people have decided who they want to be, who are we to judge them? Who are we to ostracize them? Who are we to say no to that? You know, I was born in Soweto during apartheid, and I know exactly how is it like to be ostracized, to be segregated, to be disenfranchised. For me, it was the color of my skin that made me inferior. That's why I just thought, in this day and age, I cannot allow other human beings to feel the way I felt. Gay people and lesbians are not immoral. You know, they are not a threat to our society. So they should be left alone to live their lives, because we're all equal. We're born equal, and I think we're all equal in the eyes of the Lord. So I think it's important that we fight this war together. We educate our people. We conscientize them. We change their mindset. And above all, the political will, and we decriminalize this, because there is nothing criminal about somebody loving whoever they love.
My name is Vuyelwa Jennifer Maqala. I live in Tulane Street in Khayelitsha, that is in Cape Town. My daughter's name is Loli. Here in my community, all the gays I know, they come out and tell them they are like my daughter. My husband took him a very long time to accept it. Would say, no, not in my house. Then I sat down with him. I said, this is who she is, so we can't change it. All we have to do is to accept it. In 2006, my daughter, her and her friend went for drinks. The next day, she came and told me that they were attacked. Her face was so swollen and her jaws couldn't move, and said, Mom, a group of men came to us and they were with their girlfriend. So the girlfriend said to us we were tomboys. So we told him that we are not tomboys. We are gays, that's what we are. And the boyfriends came and hit them and said, we are tired of this thing. And her friend Zoliswa went to her home. This is where they found her and they started to hit her. Loli was there watching, but hiding somewhere. And her friend died. Since then, everything changed from her, because she was a happy girl and who had dreams. They buried her alive, because all the dreams that she had are gone. Nothing else she cares about anymore. I think for people to learn about it, it is better if they came out about it, so then people would know that they are gays and it won't change. If each and everyone could try and understand that everyone has to live their life the way she wants to live or he wants to live, it will be better.
I think almost all the sister trans women in Asia and the Pacific faces the same situation.
Trans men situation is very hard.
Well, being trans guarantees that you're going to be upsetting someone.
I'll be walking down the road and someone will turn around and say, hey, AIDS, ADC in Tongan.
They always call me Banchi, Benchong. It's a word of Bahasa. It means Sisi.
I've been rejected from my family and my society.
They will only accept me if I only change or cut my hair or change the way I dress.
People, when they perceive and recognize you as a transgender, they will address you as Sir, Mr. And it's very offensive because it will embarrass you to people and sometimes humiliate you.
When I was young, going to school was a nightmare. I had to dressed like a male uniform. I was bullied, I was hit, and I could not tell anyone, the teacher, the parents, because I was afraid to be judged or punished by them.
And I told my teacher that these guys tried to, take out my clothes. And the teacher said that you are behaving pansy. You are behaving in a feminine way. So it's not their fault. It's your fault.
You want to be a psychologist, but you're transgender, you're not allowed.
I would like to have been is like the doctor in the hospital. I cannot. My friend want to be the teacher, cannot. Most of transgender in Thailand, we can work or 2 or 3 work only. Makeup artist, cabaret show, and the last choice, sex worker.
The issue is that with our community, there is no option.
My issue is about not having an employment, not earning money with dignity.
So the discrimination within the healthcare setting is in lots of different layers.
Transition-related healthcare for trans men is essentially non-existent.
When you talk about being a transgender to go to government hospital, of course we are reluctant to go. I think it's because of the judgmental attitude of the staff of the hospital.
As soon as you walk into that lab, someone who's your neighbor or someone who knows you will just turn around and say, I wonder what he's up to.
We're at risk for all the same sorts of gynecological problems that cis women are, but typically don't receive continuing care.
Many times that transgender women have to go to the private clinic, in which is really expensive.
Trans people are using hormone and all the things without any prescription, going to the pharmacy and taking the birth control pills as a hormone.
If you're really sick and you want to get warded, you'll be put in the female ward, which is a terrible thing because nobody wants to see my face in the female ward.
I would like to see that transgender can change title of the name.
I wish that the privacy can be kept for the transgender who don't want to disclose it, and respect to those who come out, just like respecting any other persons.
Transgender want to learn and want to educate themselves.
I think it's very important not to forget that we are humans and that we need the same kind of things as other people.
The commitment, the political commitment has to come up from the respective country, and the country should start owning the transgender community as their own citizen with constitutional rights, human rights, and basic rights of human being as they are.
To train the doctor and sensitize them about the transgender issues.
For health providers to increase their knowledge in transgender issues.
If we have female appearance, then put us in female ward.
Healthcare services must be accessible and affordable for every single transgender.
I hope in the future that every transgender citizen is conscious to their well-being and exercise their right to health.
I believe that this is the beginning, and I am looking forward that we will have a very encouraging and supportive environment for transgender people.
My hope for the future of trans people is that we eventually get to be treated like people.
What we are advocating for is equal right, not special right.
Trans rights are human rights.